We're Express the Beat. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Express the Beat.
And we're here with Ramusa Media, and thanks for watching.
Today we're with Express the Beat. This is Ramusa Media. So happy to have y'all here.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
My first question is, what is your earliest memory of dance?
Okay, so for me, my earliest memory is when all of our family and friends used to get together. You know how they make all the little kids dance? Dancing in front of a crowd. I was probably maybe 3 years old, and my older friend sister had taught me a dance, and that's my first memory of ever dancing.
And I think I would always see her. She's older than me, so when I was younger, I would always just see her dancing. So I think I would try to copy what she was doing, because she started dance classes earlier, also probably around 5.
Yeah.
And then we both joined around between ages of 5 and 7, and we started doing Bharatanatyam
together,
Indian classical.
Do you have a history of dance in your family?
My mom loves to dance, and my dad never danced, and they met in a college dance in India. So it's kind of in our blood, but my mom's side is all about partying and dancing, but nothing classical or taught ever. And so that starts kind of with us.
How do you think your Indian background best influenced your approach to dance today?
I think in the Indian culture there are just so many, I think in every culture there's so many different art forms and dance forms. In the Indian specifically, there are a lot of different dance forms, and which was awesome, because even being here, with immigrant parents, they obviously wanted us to keep our Indian roots going, so I think their way of doing that was to enroll us in different Indian dance classes.
Another thing is our mom is North Indian, our dad is South Indian, and one way that we wanted to be closer to our South Indian roots was to do a South Indian-based classical dance form, and that's how we kind of got into that.
What was the turning point where Express the Beat went from a notion to an actuality? It became this full-fledged company?
So in 2012, we completed our Bharatanatyam Arangetram, which is a graduation dance for our classical training. And after that, and so it's, a lot of rigorous practice, 1 year of intensive training, and it's our first solo performance, you could say.
Yeah.
So after that ended, we realized that we weren't dancing anymore, and there was nothing.
We went to college,
yeah.
And there was a lot of extra things, but we kept dancing, and so someone suggested to us, you dance so much, why don't you put it up somewhere, or start classes, or perform places for money and make it a company. And so that was,
yeah, I think 2 girls in our neighborhood, 2 little kids wanted to learn from us. So that was, I think, our first.
Those were our first steps. Yeah.
And then eventually we made it more of a official thing.
When you recorded the Boss preview in September 2014, was that the first? Was that one of the first entries into choreographed dance as Express the Beat?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was kind of when we figured out how Instagram works and stuff. So that was one of our first posts that we made, and I think after that we kind of had more of, we put it out there, our friends and family can see it, so we wanted to make it more of a consistent thing.
What are the obstacles that you've had to overcome when pursuing Express the Beat as a choreography company?
I think there have been a couple. First thing is we're 2 people. We have different goals, so communication, deciding where we want to take it has been a huge thing, because we are performance-based, but we're also teaching-based, and that's something that is hard to balance between. The second thing is we're always in different stages of our lives, so time commitment and being consistent has been a huge thing, but I think we're
getting there.
Yeah, we're working to that, and so those are 2 main things that we've been working to get over.
What do you draw inspiration from for your dances?
I think, Bollywood as a whole is always changing, And I think seeing like new choreography through Bollywood and even like really old choreography in Bollywood, like we want to bring that back. So I mean the professional like dancers of course are an inspiration, as well as in Atlanta there is a lot of
potential. There's so many
and there's
dancers.
so many dancers. Yeah, we have a lot of dancer friends, and you know, seeing them and like the way they're taking their dance careers has been a huge inspiration.
Just wanting to grow.
Yeah.
The name Express the Beat, how did you come to the conclusion of choosing this name for your group?
So our initial motto was everyone can dance. So we've been approached by so many people who are like, we've never danced, we don't want to do this. And that's a lie. Everyone can dance. And so for us, one way to show that everyone can dance was to teach a beat and then learn to express yourself to that beat. And that's how we dance. We listen to something and all of a sudden we're just vibing. And so expressing the beat, that's the name that we came to.
How much support have you received from the Indian American community in Atlanta?
A lot.
Yeah. I mean, we're really lucky that our parents also like they were our number one support. You know, they really liked the idea that they loved that we were working together, and then once we started teaching them and their friends for fun. That kind of gave us practice. So our family, we have a huge family friend group here because a lot of our family's back in India. So those are the people that kind of raised us, and they're like our family here. So they were huge support, and I think every day, like when we meet new people, they're only like happy to help.
The elder community has definitely been supportive because that's who we targeted first, because we wanted to bring them the love of dance that we have, and now we're kind of moving into the younger community where they don't have as much exposure to this type of dance. So yeah, we've received a lot of support.
What is the most you've had fun teaching a single class or a single student? Is there a most memorable dance class that sticks out to you?
We've had a couple.
You can go first.
Okay, so when we were living not in the same area, I had one student who came to me who wanted private lessons, saying that she had a 35-year high school reunion party that she wanted to go to, and 25-30 years ago she could not dance at all, and then when she got to this party she wanted to be able to dance, to just have fun, and just that set of classes, we had about 5 classes, the growth that she had was probably the most memorable for me.
And I would say at Georgia Tech we did this kind of like a free workshop through like an organization, I think at Georgia Tech, and there was almost 40 people that came out, and like 50% of them were not Indian, which to me that was awesome because it was kind of like spreading Bollywood and Bhangra to the non-Indian community too, which was a lot of fun.
Do you draw parallels between Atlanta's music industry and your dance classes in terms of, is there any common ground between the two, do you think?
I do. Both are innovative, both are very creative, and I feel like both are very young. We have so much potential to grow. Atlanta's music industry is growing, and you can see all of the potential there. We're trying to constantly put out new things, constantly grow our culture, basically our dance culture, and I feel like Atlanta music is doing
and I
that
think
too.
it's easier for us to even have like goals to strive for bigger things with Express the Beat because we're in Atlanta and because it's such a like musically cultured and growing city. So yeah, definitely would draw the two together.
I think Atlanta's music industry is very focused on the local too.
Yeah,
and there are a lot of local upcoming artists. I have so many friends who go and produce their own music. We're DJs who love to do all of this, and it just inspires us. Yeah, motivates us to do it too.
What would you say is the number one thing you've learned about dance since you started Express the Beat?
You go first.
Yeah, I would definitely, like what she said earlier, I definitely believe that anybody can dance if they put their mind to it, if they're doing it for themselves. I think like seeing progress was like the biggest thing that I learned, that being a good dancer, there's no like one definition to it. It's very individualistic. So I think we'll go with
and along with that, I think dancing is a lot like any other sport or activity that you do. It comes with practice. If you fall out of practice, if you fall out of consistency, then you have to build yourself back up to it.
If you could speak to your 18-year-old selves today about where you stand with Express the Beat today, what would you say to them?
I would say
make time for it.
Yeah.
And put a little more time into it.
I think that is one thing we should have done was be more consistent from when we started. So because when we
love where we are now.
Yeah, and when we do put our time and effort into this, like we see growth and we see progress. And I think if we had just taken it a little bit more seriously in the beginning, we would have even been like further than we are.
I'd say that to any 18-year-old. If you love something,
just do it.
Put your money and time into it because it'll work if you love it.
Who are some of your personal favorite or inspiring brown entertainers in America today?
Question.
That's a good question.
I think one studio, I think it's in San Francisco. They call themselves B-Funk, and they're these two girls, and they teach dance. They teach very similar styles to what we practice
they
as well.
They create a fusion for it.
It's kind of like a fusion, and it's like a perfect mix, in my opinion, of Indian and American culture, and they bring in everyone, like our age group. People come and learn choreography, and they have workshops and classes, and now they're like on tour. We're actually going to go to their workshop when they come to Atlanta, and seeing them, every video that they release and all the fun that's in their videos, like that's very similar to where we want to go with it. And I think it is really inspiring to see that two dancers just like us were able to become so big, and it is really inspiring, I think.
What's next for Express the Beat?
So our next endeavor is starting to create regular workshops for 3 different age groups. So we want to cater college kids, high school college kids, create like quarterly workshops, so 4 workshops a year. Target the age group of all the parents who have kids who don't have time to do anything else, and then target all the elder people who don't think they can dance. So we are actually currently going to be releasing flyers for all of these workshops soon. Yeah.